Let's shift our attention to the co-main event going down Saturday night, UFC 294, Kamaru Usman, the newest addition to the 185-pound weight class, and Khamzat Chimaev. Kamaru, let me start with you. This was your idea. This was your idea over 2 months ago. The UFC decided to give the nod to Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa revealed that he had surgery on his elbow 3 weeks ago, was pulled from the card. The UFC called you and said, Kamaru, we like that idea after all. What is it specifically about this opponent that made you want to campaign and lobby for this fight?
I think he's a great opponent. He's as advertised. I think he's tough. He's big. He's strong. He can grapple. He can wrestle. He can strike. And at this point, this season in my life, it's just a matter of taking on the biggest, baddest challenges. And so when I walk away from the sport, I know that I took down who's who of the sport.
And Khamzat, to go over to you, you're taking the same risk on short notice. This is not the opponent that you planned for. As soon as this fight was announced, Dana White announced that this would be a #1 contenders match. Was that something that you demanded to accept the last-minute replacement?
I never plan anything because life is never let me plan anything. So I was ready for everybody. I don't train for somebody else. I focus what I gonna do, training for my things. So,
let me ask you this. If you become the #1 contender, if you get a win over Kamaru Usman, that will draw you into Sean Strickland, who's a former training partner of yours, and as I understand, a current friend. Is that going to be a problem?
what? No problem. Somebody wants to make money. No problems there, man. So, I mean,
And Kamaru, I'd like to ask you the same question. Many people may not know, but you and Sean Strickland have competed before. It will actually be a rematch. You defeated him the first time. He was younger in his career, and it was at 170 pounds. Do you also look forward to rematching the current champion, Sean Strickland?
Absolutely. I think since that fight, he's grown a lot. He's gotten a lot better. And I think he's just settled into who he is as a fighter. And I look forward to that matchup because as he's grown, as have I, I've grown a lot as well. So I think that's going to be a highly anticipated matchup for everyone to see. And I can't wait.
Kamaru, when you were the champion at 170 pounds, there was a lot of talk. There was talk coming out of Sweden. There was talk by people we respect like Brian Stan telling us about this young man in the training room named Khamzat Chimaev. He amassed a 4-0 record. He never left the first round. He even had a fight where he wasn't punched. And a lot of people were wanting him to be the #1 contender against you. The problem was he didn't have a ranking, and Dana White said it's too early. At that time, DraftKings put out a make-believe line. They had you as a 2-1 favorite. DraftKings now has Chimaev as a 2-1 favorite because they think you're taking too much risk taking this on short notice. Are you prepared to compete this Saturday?
Absolutely. I think this one thing that since the beginning of my career, it's the one thing that I've always done. And I think it's the one thing that any great fighter or great champion does. And that's you're always prepared. This is not something that we do on the weekends. We're always in shape. We're always in the gym. We always continuing to learn and grow and build. And so, of course, this was he was a welterweight at that time, and I'm a welterweight, and he's slightly bigger welterweight. And so I welcomed that fight, but unfortunately, he can't get down to the weight, and he couldn't make it. So now we're kind of thrusted in a situation to where now we have to show the world this matchup at a weight class higher. But it makes no difference. At the end of the day, just like the saying goes, fighters fight. As I'm sure he's excited for the matchup, so am I.
Chimaev, if I may ask you what your strengths are in this contest. As I followed your career, you've weaponized pace, meaning your conditioning has always been better than your opponent's. But in this case, it's a 3-round fight. You're taking on a former champion who is used to 25-minute fights. Are you going to have an advantage in the conditioning? Are you going to have an advantage in the wrestling over a former national champion in Kamaru Usman?
I should answer for that. Wow, it's like, I don't know what to say. Just come here to smash the guy, man. So respect for the guy, takes the fight, short notes, everything. And they already has excuses. Not Usman, a lot of people say, but Usman takes the fight like warrior, man. But people already says he didn't have a camp, this, that, man. So for me, it doesn't matter. I come finish everyone, man. So I don't care about it being the jump pound and or all these shits. We has to go to the cage and fight, you know. Still, I know the guy comes to the wins anyway, but I'm here also to kill now. So cage
And
gonna show
Chimaev,
it.
my final question to you, Chimaev, please give me a prediction for this fight.
We're gonna give the prediction, man. Never gonna give. You can't give a predictions before the fight. Everyone says gonna do that, gonna this, that, and the cage is everything is going different way now. So that's why I never can give that. Was for the Gilbert Burns, like learn a lot of things. You know, I was think one punch they're gonna be down in my head. So you know the game play against you. So how to be focused fight from first second to last second. So I'm different mindset for my game now.
Kamaru Usman, Kamaru, let me ask you very directly. Are you going to beat Khamzat Chimaev? Are you going to become the #1 contender this Saturday at UFC 294?
Good question, Chair. I like the way you worded that. I think that's what we do. Just like he's planning to step in there and get his hands raised, so am I. He's prepared, and so am I. So on Saturday night, we're both going to step in there. They're going to close that door. And whoever's game plan starts to unravel, the other opponent's going to have their hand raised. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure he's looking forward to it. And on Saturday night, the fans in the world finally get the matchup that they want to see.
Gentlemen, my job as an ESPN analyst is over, but I would like to now become a fan and tell you on a personal note, I respect that you guys have both gone on with this. The first rule is the show must go forward. Fighters fight, as Kamaru said. You guys are going to fight this Saturday at 294, and rightfully so. The winner will challenge for the world championship. Good luck to both of you.